You know what? When I found out I was having a son, I probably reacted the way most men do. It wasn't even conscious, but something hit different. Now I've got both a son and a daughter. I'm very blessed in that way. But there's something about your firstborn son. It triggers something deep in your identity. It's not better, it's just different. When you find out you're going to have a son, your mind shifts. You know, my name will live on. I will have a legacy. And the best of me, maybe the parts that I didn't even let out, they can live in him. It's not just a genetic legacy. It's a moral, mental, and spiritual legacy. With a daughter, you show her how a man should treat her. With a son, you're building that man from scratch. Welcome to the balance blade. Now, one of the first things I can remember doing as my son was starting to come into a school age, doing things like playing sports and interacting with peers, is I looked through what I'd like to call the mirror of regret. Now, we all look at ourselves in the mirror in the morning and we talk about different things. And, they say, what is regret going to do for you? Just make you bitter. But in this case, it wasn't a regretfulness of sorrow. It was a little bit more of hope. You think about what went wrong. Where did I fall short? You think about all the mistakes and the problems you have. And you just think, if he just listens to me, he won't have to suffer like I did. But sometimes they need to stumble. They need to learn the same lessons that you did. And let me tell you, watching that hurts like hell. And there's a fine line between guiding and rescuing. And sometimes I still haven't figured out where that is. His milestones can take me back. First day of school. I can remember his first baseball practice. Man, he really didn't have a clue what was going on. And I remember the first time that he lost and he cried. And I'm thinking to myself, oh no, this is going to be hard. And we had already experienced this a little bit in martial arts. One time when he was sparring somebody, he lost the match. And unfortunately, he didn't know how the scoring was working. When they announced that he didn't win, he almost charged at the other kid. He was so angry. And the instructor had to hold him back. But we got it done. We took care of it. But the pandemic changed my son's story. He was 6, he was in first grade, and everything shut down. Sports, school, services, all done. Now, my daughter was just getting ready to head to preschool the next year, and her school was open. And so her life was a little bit less affected at that point. She didn't have the same amount of family seeing her on a regular basis initially, but we made it work. Now, my son at this point was receiving services for autism spectrum, and second grade was supposed to be absolutely critical. Now, the one thing I will say, and a shout out to the special education teachers at my son's school, when a lot of other things weren't working, they were. But despite this, he started stimming again. My son was somebody he liked to flap. And he also began stuttering more. Now, this is more of a nervous thing. He still does it a little bit. But we watched this progress slip through our fingers, and there was nothing we could do about it. Being a father seems like it would be very simple. You stand between the threat and your family. Something's coming, and opposition is trying to pursue you, and you plant yourself right between that opposition and your family. But what if the threat is invisible? What if it's a system, a society, a circumstance? It's stuff you can't punch or fix in one night, and that breaks you as a dad. And you just have to get through it. But when you come out on the other side, there's some other things that you'll notice too. You see, there are other great men in this world who will work on behalf of your son. And to be honest with you, it means a lot when my son learns lessons that I teach him. But sometimes it means even more when I see him learning a lesson that I want from another man, whether it be a coach, a teacher, or a neighbor, somebody that sees the same thing, or maybe even something more in my son than I see. And they invest in him because they get it. They understand. You might be looking at yourself as a father and thinking, man, I've really failed on all accounts. But I need to tell you, who you are at his birth is not who you're going to be when he's 12 or when he's 22. It's never too late to grow. There are seasons of fatherhood, and maybe you're not going to crush every single season, but you can still show up for the next one. First you start off as a nurturer, a caretaker, and then you become a mentor. And then as they get older, like when they're in their teenage years, you're their coach. And finally, you become their friend. And that's a journey that can be very tough. But I would like to give all you fathers out there 4 points, 4 things that you can take with you. The first one is society isn't built for you. So if you're struggling, not only are you not alone, but it's not surprising. It's not that fathers are hated. It's that mothers tend to be uplifted more. So don't take it personally. Just don't expect help to come looking for you. You've got to go find it. And that's number 2. Find other good fathers, not just dads, but find good men who happen to be fathers. Build your circle and learn from those ahead of you. Those are the folks with children that are a bit older that have been through it, and pour into those behind you. Let the next generation of fathers be ready to succeed too. Number 3, keep improving yourself. If your son sees that you're on a mission to become a better man, he'll eventually want that for himself too. Number 4, keep showing up. Even if you failed, even if you feel behind, even if you think it doesn't matter, it does. Fatherhood doesn't ask you to be perfect. It asks you to stay in the fight, to lead, to learn, to love even when it's hard. Your son is watching, becoming, struggling, and rising. And so are you. Legacy, struggle, and showing up. That's fatherhood. Stay sharp.